All right, here's our final installment of our project. I know you've already done this part most likely, but we are doing the ocean and we are doing this land right here. I think that's all we have left. If you still have this part to do, it's just the same as we did it with here, right? But more greens at the top. Greens, browns, both of your greens, both of your browns, and your peach color that kind of creates this cliff looking thing. So from there, we are going to work on our land and then our water. And then the last part is our flowers. So make sure that on this part where you have your flowers and this section of the flowers, however you're going to do it, I think I'll make it more like that. That would make more sense. A little flower patch down there. Make sure that you have your white covering it really well so that in case you get a little bit of green or a little bit of blue from that water into here, you can scrape it off with a little knife, like a backside of a butter knife or something, so that you can get the color off and get back to like the really bright poppy colors. So what I want you to see here is how we go from dark to light. Oh, wait, we're doing our land first. It doesn't really matter. We'll do our ocean first. We're going from dark to light. We're doing about 4 different colors and white. And so put more pressure on the bottom part, less and less and less as you go to the top. So here we go. We're going to start with our sky blue or pale blue and put pressure in here. Try to avoid the poppies that you drew there. If you accidentally get some in there, it's not that massively big of a deal, but try to avoid it. Always go exactly horizontal in water when you're doing an ocean. Not scribbling, not up and down, light side to side, horizontal. Put the protective paper under there. And then just keep going up and up and up. And as you get further up, do a more gentle touch. Less and less pressure to when at the top you're barely touching it. Just less and less pressure. Barely touching it. Barely touching it. Kind of like that. All right. Now you're going to use your light green. And you're going to just put little bits, not a lot. Just a little bit. This looks really beautiful when you mix it with especially, but you want to put it around here. Lots around your coastal areas because that's where it's kind of lighter in color. Around your rocks. But just touch. Up here, same kind of a thing. All right, when you put your dark blue on this, it's really creates that beautiful sea blue color. All right, dark blue. Good pressure at the bottom, avoiding your puppies. Now we're going to start putting less pressure into here. Less pressure, less pressure. All right, now our last and final color, the coup de grace, purple. We're going to darken it and beautify it with some purple. Same thing. Repeat. Good pressure on the bottom, less pressure at the top. That's already pretty, but we're going to make it prettier. Now we're going to take our white, and you're going to just go from the top and smear that all in. Smear it. Good pressure. Good pressure. Avoid the rocks. Avoid the land. So still side to side motion. If you have not done your rocks here, make sure you have them in similar color to your, whatever you did here, do here. You don't want to have like super dark rocks up here and a really light land mass there. That doesn't make sense. So you just have the rocks be a similar color to your land mass that it's next to. All right, voila. Gorgeous water. And even has like the little, the texture of the paper makes it look like glistens on the water. I love that. Okay, so make sure you get all the way up into near your land so it doesn't look like there's a bunch of white where the water's supposed to be, although that might look like waves. If you did not get anything in here, you want to put a little bit of your color from your water into there. And I'm just using what was already on my white, just a little bit, not a lot. And then if you want to accentuate where the wave is, this is where you would add a little bit of the darker color. And then that kind of shows up where the white is. And then that shows up whiter. You can also do that on the other side with, oops, not with black, with brown. So if you want to show up your white a little bit better, you would add a little bit darker brown, and that makes that white pop. So I don't know if you did your beach yet or not, but there we go. That's what kind of gives it a little bit inside of it to show that there's sand under there, and a little bit of your peach in there to show that there's sand in there, right? A little sand. You can see the sand through the wave. And then you bring this back with your peach. I think you already did your peach, but if you didn't, that's how you do it. All right, I am going to my peach. I'm going to create my land. Do you see the direction that I'm drawing? This is along here. All the rest of these we did with the cliffs going up and down, but this is going to be long against the flow, for the flow of the hill. Now my light green, get some light green in here. We are going to end up doing this whole thing with light green at the end to make it really glow and blend. So you don't need to do a ton right now. But it kind of helps know where to put everything. Now dark green. Inside my large patches of my light green, I'm doing my dark green. So I'm leaving some of this peach all by itself there. All by itself. And then, oops, sorry. And then I'm going to use this little goldenrod too. The, what is it called? Yellow ochre. Put a little yellow ochre. That'll glow it up too. It's very pretty. Putting that into the green. This green, that dark green is very bright. It's not a color that I think is very natural to the landscape of California, but maybe it is in certain scenarios. Okay, then your brown, which is the red brown. A little bit more of that into areas, some darker along the coat, like maybe there's some rocky forms there or something, I don't know. And then a little bit along here, put in between your poppies, and done with that. A little bit of the dark brown, same kind of a thing. Just giving it some variety. A little bit of the dark brown up in here, create little clusters of like rocky area. You can leave it that way if you really like it just like that. I'm going to blend it with my light green. And I think that gives it a nice feel to it. still always going, even when I'm blending it, I'm going in the same direction that I originally drew it or colored it, whatever you want to call it. All right, now we have, this is a lot of like just straight down kind of action. Maybe I'll give it a little bit of, a little more flow here. All right, there we go. Now, this is the point where you want to scrape your, for an object to scrape, maybe I'll use these little scissors right here, to take out some of this color out of the poppies. So wherever you have poppies, just use something that's hard and flat, and it will remove the color from your poppies. Wherever you put your white pastel to begin with, it will remove what's above it. So I'm just taking that out. Alrighty. There we go. Now we're going to use our yellow, just a light yellow, all along inside all of these poppies. We want it to glow. Glowy poppies. Glow, glow. Glowing poppies. Some little dots here and there for our big cluster of poppies here. Now we go to our orange and do it not everywhere, but most where. You're covering most of it, but not all of it. You want to have some of that yellow show through on your poppy. Bits of your orange here. It says these are distant poppies, right? They're down on the hillside, a little further away. So I just want to show that there's a little cluster of poppies down there. Now I'm going to use my brown to just give that a little bit more oomph down here on these poppies, a little bit of depth, just a little bit. You don't want a lot, just a little bit. It's always the darks that make the highlights look beautiful. So use enough dark to make your highlights look lovely. Just like down here, when we added the dark to the water, it made the white look brighter. Same kind of idea. All right, now we're gonna, well, I guess I could still use that. We're gonna put in some of our foliage so it doesn't look like our poppies are just floating out in Nowheresville. We're going to put some of this in. We already got it in there. I'm going to do some green, some light green, and some green in here. Kind of going in and amongst all of that, those poppies down there. And then I'm going to do that same with the dark brown, but go a little easy. So some shadows, getting some shadows in the grassy area. Same thing here, creating some depth here. Do this just a little bit, not a lot. All right, there we go. We're done. So I hope you love your project, and I will love to see the result when you are done. So send me a picture of it. All right, bye.